Hello and welcome back to Friday's episode of the What is K-pop podcast, where I talk about whatever I want to talk about in relation to K-pop, K-pop groups, their members, their discographies, and pretty much everything else in between. Recently I have been doing mainly K-pop groups under Hype Corporation. I also talked about Stray Kids and I talked about families the other day. However, with me actually watching YouTube earlier, I have Girl Gang by XG just paused on my TV, and I wanted to quickly talk about the recent, or I guess not terribly recent, in the last couple of years, the rise of the Y2K movement, the Y2K trends, that sort of stuff, and the influx of K-pop kind of going back to the past and using aesthetics from the 2000s or late 1990s to early 2000s, and kind of my actual opinion on that as someone who was born in the 2000s. So I was born in 2003, and I was born in England, and I had a lot of actually hand-me-down clothes from my sister, and I had Barbie dolls and Bratz dolls, and I watched a lot of kind of classic TV shows from back in those times. I watched also a lot of Scooby-Doo and that sort of kind of aesthetic-y type of situation. But to be fair, I don't actually really remember too much from my childhood, mainly because of the fact that my mum obviously was quite ill, and to be fair, my memory has always kind of been quite questionable. But when I kind of see things from when you see a rotary phone, or rotary phone, the type of ones where you stick your finger into on a button, and then you wind it round to this metal bar, and it dials that number, and kids especially 10-year-olds, they don't understand what it how to use those, and even CD players, because those kids didn't have to, they had phones, and I don't know, Apple Music or Spotify, or streaming platforms to be able to stream music on. But obviously back in the 2000s, we had not AirPods, iPods, and those, I didn't have one actually, but we had CD, obviously we had CD players, or you'd watch music videos on the TV and stuff. So that's kind of why music videos were kind of made back then, because that would be kind of the only way you would be able to listen to the music, unless you bought the CD, or you were able to see them in concert. However, if I am going to be perfectly honest, I actually really do not like the Y2K trend. Genuinely, I really, really do not like it in the slightest. It really fucking freaks me out. Especially in Claire's Accessories, a shop, I think, I don't know if it's oh yeah, it is in the US, but they used to have these earrings where it would be a little plastic or I don't know, this weird texture, where it would be spiky earrings, or I know that there was a lot of fluffy ball earrings that you'd get, and it's something that I actually do not like. I don't like it in the slightest. I genuinely hate it. I just, oh God, it's not nice in the slightest. However, with I don't know if like New Jeans's like debut is considered as Y2K. I think so, but definitely their comeback with OMG, that was extremely Y2K. Like even like the hats that they wore, very very Y2K, and the bags that they wore, Y2K-ified, and kind of the leg warmers, I'm pretty sure that's Y2K. And like it wouldn't surprise me if one day we actually see, or at least like soon, we see these like fingerless glove things that were like fishnets. Ugh, hated them too as a kid. Oh my god. But yeah, one group, obviously the group that I was just watching on TV, XG, they definitely have Y2K inspired. However, actually, the music video for Shooting Star, I don't know, like if it's been like distinguished, but actually, that music video is very, very 1990s inspired. There was this group called TLC back in the 1990s, and they released a song called I love how I'm like I can picture the No Scrubs. I can picture the music video in my head, and No Scrubs, like literally, I was watching the Shooting Star music video and I was like, that's very inspired by TLC. Like I don't know if it's like totally fully like completely inspired by them, or it could just be inspired by 1990s. But in back then, obviously the turn of the millennium and the idea of kind of going into the future, and especially with the Back to the Future films kind of being quite popular at that stage still, I think there was very much the kind of excitement over the idea of technology being very very advanced, and we had Back to the Future Day in 2015. And to be fair, the technology back in that film, we still don't have that technology now, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. But you know, that style was very much like futuristically thinking like of what we'd have today. And like, yeah, I mean, we have that today, but that's because it's inspired from what they had back then, which is a very, very strange like trend cycle that we sort of kind of gotten ourselves into. And if I am going to be honest, I still do not like it. I've said it a few times, but I don't like it. I really just, it just makes me feel so uncomfortable seeing it all, especially considering that like back then those styles weren't even that if I need to be honest. Please don't come for me. But yeah, we have also like low rise jeans, which I also hate. They're like jeans that like sit basically on your hips, and I don't like them either. Um, Luckily though, skinny jeans aren't back. Skinny jeans are not back, and I am so unbelievably pleased that they hopefully will not come back for a while, because I remember those days. I remember them fondly. Well, actually, not fondly at all. I hated it. Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing that happened back then. Oh god, I don't even think I even want to talk about it. It's just it's weird. It's very strange. Um But yeah, oh yeah, Attention was, and like that debut was Y2K inspired. What am I talking about? They had these like butterfly clips that were very, very popular back then. They still were around, regardless of what time it was. Like people did still like those things. It just wasn't as popular as it was back in the 2000s and now, because obviously like the trend cycle and all that good stuff. And actually, this is this is completely irrelevant to the point that I'm making right now. But I've seen like people who are part of Gen Alpha, so like people born after 2010, I think, saying that they want to have been born for like when we were born, so like me, 2003, so then they could experience 2014 at the age they are now. And well, if I am going to be perfectly honest with you, wouldn't recommend it. Like if you think about it, you wouldn't have the technology you have now. You'd have the technology from back then, okay? And you wouldn't have your iPhone that you have now because the technology wasn't developed back then. You wouldn't have a lot of the songs that you have now. You'd have the ones from back then. The trend cycle was in a completely different place. The trends back then were emulating trends from the 1980s, or at least like in part they were. And also, you wouldn't have shows like Stranger Things or Riverdale, which, I mean, to be fair, do we really need Riverdale? Not really, not particularly. Like, if you want to go back to that time, please just do be aware that you wouldn't actually have the things that you have now back then, because that's just not how that works in the slightest. So, yeah, I mean, I love roasting on people. Um, let's do a little bit of live research. Yeah, no, a lot of no, it's just like all members that were born in Y2K. Yeah, I mean it also. Shiny, they were kind of meant to be like the stylish group when they debuted. Like they were going to be the style icons, and I mean, I'm sure I'm sure when they debuted that was actually quite a cool style back then, but to be fair, I've seen their outfits and I'm like kind of questioning the whole situation, if I am gonna be honest. Um Also apparently cropped puffer vests, like body warmers were oh my god, I've just had a memory. Juicy Couture like tracksuits. Oh my god, they were massive for some reason. If, like, for any reason you want to know this about me, I hate velvet. I genuinely hate velvet. Like, I hate the texture and the whole everything. Like, I have a list of things I hate, and velvet is up there. Same with stickle bricks. I hate stickle bricks. Yeah, okay. Cherry tops, they were a thing. Anything like zebra print too, like you could pull off zebra print very, very well. Things just, to be fair, I'm just pulling things out of my childhood that I'm thinking that I absolutely hated. Or like actually, back in school when, I think it was like 2017, every single girl who was popular had these like, I think they're French braids. Like they're the type of no, they weren't French braids, they were the other way round. Was it is it called Dutch braids then? Is it Dutch braids? I'm gonna have to search that. Dutch braids. Right, anyway, the braids that were like inside, the inside braids. But the hilarious thing is that I have since looked at pictures of men with Dutch braids or French braids or just braids that, are on the head, and I'm like, yeah, no, I actually like them on men. I like them on men better. Like cargo pants. Cargo pants were big. My parents tried to get me to wear a lot of them as a kid. Before, obviously, they knew I was autistic and like had sensory issues and all that good stuff. But such is the way of life. I don't care about what happened to me as a kid from that sort of perspective. Because I mean, my parents didn't know any better. They didn't think that anything was going on developmentally wise for me. Also, like plastic rings. Plastic rings were a big thing. Like hair scrunchies, neon. Neon, I think, was more in the 80s, but like slight neon accessories. Denim on denim. Oh my god, denim on denim was a massive, massive thing. Like having a denim jacket while having jeans on, that was a big thing. Like beaded necklaces that you'd get on like holiday, I guess to like Spain or something. That was a massive thing, and obviously like companies in the UK would capitalize off of that kind of idea. Mesh was a thing. Crop tops were a thing. They've always kind of been a thing, but like massively. I think maybe even like really thin rings. I think thin rings were like a thing. Like sunglasses, like big massive sunglasses, or like really thin ones were also a thing back then. Yeah, no, it's very, very strange. I'm trying to look at like pictures of things that at least I remember from my childhood. Hoops, massive hoops. Who could have the biggest hoop earrings ever? I have my ears pierced, and I got them pierced in 2018, just before my year 11 started. And I did buy hoop earrings, and I wore them to school, I think, for like 5 minutes, and I hated it because I didn't think I could like trust myself to like, I don't know, like run through my hair, because I do that a lot when I'm stressed, and like accidentally rip them out. So yeah, that's just a general bucket hats. Bucket hats were kind of an aesthetic-y type of thing. Small bags, and like clutch bags, I think they're called, or like the bag, like that sort of bag feature. They've always kind of been like a massive thing. These like belts, loop belts, I think they're called. Those creep me out. Those creep me out so much. They just really do not vibe well with me. Trying to also think. Oh yeah, those glasses that were just like very thin metal. You don't even have to be like authentic. Big massive scrunchies with like little bits of hair going across your forehead. That was a big thing. Like hats on backwards, back hats, snapback hats that are on backwards. Didn't think I explained that properly. Ponytails on the top of your head, like either side, with like bits hanging down, obviously on them. Having like scrunchied up hair, like one like in little space buns, I think they're called. Having just generally like very, very curtained hair, but instead of it just like the sides of your head, having it like down on top of your eyes so you can't see. That was a trend. So pleased that one's over. Like having, obviously there was like a swoop hairstyle that Justin Bieber was very famous for back in the day. That I literally internally cringe at now. Like I hate it. Dog tag necklaces. That was a big thing. Like rings on necklaces. That was also a thingamabob that happened. These like super duper loose watches, like digitalized watches. That was a big thing. My dad actually got many of those, but he never wore watches back in the day, and like at this time. These type of like headbandy thingies that like are kind of like necklaces, but like they are designed to like go around your head. These like headband thingies that would kind of sit actually on your forehead, and you'd like be able to like push them back a little bit. These types of like what do you call them? Headbands? Yeah, that sounds about right. That you'd like obviously like push your hair back a little bit, and stuff like anklets and like bracelets that go on your ankles. These like cuff thingies for your arms that would often be like parts of your t-shirt, like you're ripped off because you are cool. Like actually making crop tops from regular tops, that was something that was like massive. I love how I am just literally just listing off things from like the first generation of K-pop. Having quite monochromatic colors with just like a pop of I don't know, like a green or an orange or something crazy. Like having a bit longer hair on men, particularly in K-pop, was like a strange old thing that used to happen. Quite a lot of like co-ed groups happened back in like the late 90s, early noughties time. Having like these wooden hoop earring type of situations. Also back then we used to have like rattan chairs, but instead of it all being wooden rattan, they would have like this part of like a metal like arms. That was particularly common in the garden centre that my family used to go to like all of the time. Woolen hats, like not even the classic hats that you think of when you think of winter, but like think Jughead from Riverdale, those sorts of hats. Straight pin straight hat, like frizzy, not frizzy, but like what do you call it when it's like oh, I can't remember the blooming name. The type of hair where it's like super duper like ziggy zaggy hair. I can't remember its name. What else have I not talked about? I don't think I actually. It's kind of weird. I just listed off all of those things that are like kind of strangely are in my childhood, but I mean it's very 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 strange. It's so odd trying to like think of my childhood's music videos, but also like be aware that like it might actually be like the Y2K trend coming back. Blitz is apparently for the single Macarena did Y2, yeah, to be fair, now looking at those pictures, that's quite Y2K-ified, yeah. But yeah, no, it is very, very, very strange, at least on my opinion, to kind of see that vibe. Watch that scene, sorry. Because I can't actually really relate it much to my own childhood, because first of all, I don't remember, but also, mind you, I grew up with a sister who liked the 1980s, a mum who grew up in the 1970s, and a dad who grew up in the 1960s. So for me, I don't remember the 2000s. I can't say like what sort of things are, pardon me, kind of Y2K-fied. So yeah, I mean, I think all in all, the Y2K trend is very much the future, emulating the past, trying to emulate the future, if that makes any sense. That doesn't, I don't think it does or anything, but Yeah, I think a lot of the Y2K thing very much stemmed from people just expressing themselves with um, bold colors, different kind of concepts. Because if you think of like disco 1980s kind of style, it does very much stem from that, the craziness of the 1980s. But instead of it being disco inferno, it's looking to the future sort of inferno, not thinking of like the actual inferno that would be going on nowadays. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do like the songs that have come from New Jeans. I do like OMG. That is a very, very cool song. But it is strange kind of seeing the concept because I don't associate with that, unfortunately. Oh yeah. Also, a quick thing: mini skirts. Mini skirts were a thing. Very, very tight, in like very, very tight mini skirts that were very particularly short. Baggy jeans. Baggy jeans were a thing. Not using different things as belts, like rope and that sort of stuff. Having flip phones, people want to have flip phones again. Like with Samsung coming out with those bloody flip phone things. I'm like, there is a reason why we got into touchscreen phones. No one wants a flip phone. But however, what they did do actually was that they had like the usual like smartphone like model, but when you'd obviously close the phone, they'd have a little screen on there so that you could still like get like it would sort of kind of act as though it was like a phone plus a like I don't know, like Apple phone plus like an iPhone plus an Apple Watch. So then you'd at least still see your notifications, but then you could open it up and kind of like see the whole phone. Or that they have these like bigger phones actually that sort of kind of act like a tablet, but then you'd fold it, and then I guess on the additional screen, so you'd essentially have three screens, it would kind of act as though it's just a regular phone. That was weird to see that. I'm not even going to try and deny that because, like I said before, I was into phones, I was into tech for quite a while. So I'd seen these plans like very, very early on plans. And like Samsung were kind of trying to figure out like the longevity of the bit of the screen where the fold is. And there was a lot of discussions about like if it's going to get all crinkled, damaged and stuff, like how would it work if water got into that, what would sort of kind of occur onto that. And actually, with it being kind of a couple of years old now, we are starting to see people who are saying that like, oh, that part of the screen is become really, really damaged. Like I can barely use my phone anymore. And I do really feel sorry for those people because, you know, technology can only go so far before, it just doesn't make sense anymore, if that makes any. I love having to talk about things that don't make sense and I want to make sense. Oh my god, I'm an oxymoron. Like the reason why you can't bend an iPhone is because of the fact that the screen's going to get damaged. The reason why phones are made so structurally sound is because you're not actually really supposed to be able to bend them or like close them up like you do a phone. It's why on laptops you have your screen and then you have a keyboard. That's why you have that sort of stuff, because you're not meant to be able to bend a screen and it be still okay, because screens are delicate things. They hold a lot of technology, and if it bends in the wrong way, in the wrong place, it could actually, first of all, damage your phone, but also damage you, the user, because you could get electric shocked, you could get electrocuted, you could you know, bend the battery and it explodes on you, or something just as sinister. And I just wonder kind of if perhaps like these types of things are going a little bit too far and a little bit too adventurous for what they are actually trying to achieve in the grand schemes of things. Because, you know, if by any chance, like, you know, the manufacturer, like the factory that you make the phones, I don't know, like messes up and they put the battery in the wrong place and someone goes to flip the phone, the battery literally, like, you know, gets extremely damaged, and it starts leaking battery acid, you know, that's very, very dangerous. And, you know, I get the want to evolve technologically. I understand that, you know, we can't stay in the past. But I wonder if perhaps with like the addition of these new types of flip phones, if we might see like hello petal, we might see more instances of damage. Because like even like going off of a tangent completely, just well and truly off on a tangent, in Disney World, back in the 1970s, I think. Yeah, it was 1974, so 50 years now. There was this girl called Debbie Stone. She got, you know, she was working in like a one of the rides, or like she was one of the cast members at Disney, and she ended up losing her life in the ride that she was manufacturing, she was working at, because of the fact that the technology, like pieces of technology, were not put in place to keep people safe. And you know, I it's like we all think of these ideas as being good ideas, but when, you know, real life kicks in, you know, and accidents do happen, like Debbie's, like a few other accidents at Disney World, like potentially with an accident using those phones, or, you know, especially with like Y2K clothing, actually, speaking on that, with, I don't know, like a complete fishnet tights, you know, they could get caught, you could trip, and you could hurt yourself, you know. And it's just some. I will stop talking in a minute, Petal. Okay, I'm sorry, my darling. She wants to sleep, so I need to kind of come to a conclusion with the episode. Are you okay? Are you okay, Petal, my love? Yeah, yeah, she's fine. She's trying to find a nice place, to a position to sleep in. I don't know. Cat's weird sometimes. She had a snip on like 10 days ago, and she wasn't very well last night. Um, yeah, okay. She's being weird. I think I might, you know, conclude today's episode, and kind of give her some peace and quiet. But all in all, what I'm trying to say is that some pieces of technology do need to be left to the past. Oh, I think what she's doing is she wants to make a nest somewhere else. Oh, I know what she's doing now. She, yeah, she's trying to nest. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up today's episode. You know, Y2K trends, they're weird. I'll admit that. I'll admit that till the sun goes down. But you know, that's just my take on things. You know, I'd love to know what anyone who's listening's takes on Y2K, and if you feel like it's a good trend and it should come back, and I'd love to read those. Yeah. I hope you have a nice rest of your day, and I will speak to you again on Sunday. Bye.